everybody, it's Brooke with the Buttered Home and welcome to my messy kitchen. We have a real treat in store for you today. We are going to be sharing with you our favorite recipe for mini skinny banana puddings. Now yes, this is not going to be the same as our traditional banana pudding, but it is a close second. And if you're watching that old waistline, you will not miss a thing because we give you some easy tips and tricks on how to lessen the sugar, carb, fat content of this recipe. And this is a real easy one to whip up in a pinch if you have company just kind of drop in. So stay with us, we're gonna have fun today. Okay, so now we're going to show you how to make this simple and delicious custard for these mini skinny banana puddings. So in a saucepan, don't turn your heat on yet, we want to add in just about 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to measure this and take my time. And then we want to add in 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Let me get it out, it'll be easier to dip out of here. 2 level tablespoons of cornstarch. There's 1. So you do your dry and your wet ingredients all in one boiler. It's just like any other custard. Custard, when you make it, I mean, you're pretty well baking. So you want to make sure that your measurements are precise. So we have our salt and our cornstarch. Now we want to add in 4 tablespoons of our sugar substitute, and I'm using brown sugar simply because it gives the color that I want. But you can use confectioner's sugar substitute, or you can use just the regular granulated, or you can use, well, they won't be skinny, but you can use regular sugar here if your heart desires. Cook with your heart. Cook with your heart. That's what they say about garlic. You add garlic with your heart, right? So we have our salt, our sugar substitute, which I like this brand. I am not a paid sponsor for them, and our cornstarch. So we're just going to just lightly mix those together just so that they're combined. And it's not like a huge gloppy mess. Okay, that's good enough. Now we have 1 egg yolk that I have lightly kind of whipped together. So we're going to add that in and make sure we get all of that in there. So we're going to kind of make a paste to begin with the egg yolk and everything else. But this is just to make sure ahead of time that we get everything kind of incorporated together. So I like to just pull that in. It's almost like making a gravy without the heat. And you can shake it around and make sure that you pick up all those dry ingredients and get them in. It looks almost like peanut butter. All right, so we have those in there mixed in real good, and I'm gonna turn on my heat to medium to high heat while I measure out a cup of low-fat milk, and I am using almond milk today. You can use almond milk, or you can use any low-fat regular dairy is fine. So at this point, we want to slowly just drizzle that in. And as it heats up, which it will kind of fast because we're drizzling it in, it's going to help melt the sugar and the cornstarch and everything else. So this pudding, I keep calling it pudding. This custard comes together pretty quick. I think you'll be surprised. And look, guys, you can use the traditional ingredients, but I just wanted to do it this way so that you could see that you can do the same thing with some conscious choices. of substitutions. So we're going to just stir that to combine. And I'm going to just up my heat just a tad. I like to do this between medium and low because you don't want it to come up too fast. So we start on the lower side of medium. And I'm going to get my whisk because I am a firm believer that a whisk helps thicken a little bit faster. A fork probably does the same thing. But I have just used a whisk for so long that I'm just convinced, I am convinced that it actually helps thicken things a lot faster. That's your unreasonable Brooke tip of the day. All right, I can feel it giving me some resistance with my whisk. So when this happens, it's going to happen pretty fast. So you got to stay with it and you got to be ready. And there we go. So I removed it from the heat because it came up just that quick to that pudding consistency. So it starts to separate a bit. So I continue to whisk it as it cools so that it doesn't get like a skin on it. Y'all, it's so pretty. Now to this we're going to add about a teaspoon of vanilla. And I got all my measuring spoons over here and they're not apart. So we're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla to that and just stir that in. And that will also help kind of smooth it out too. But did you see how quick that custard came up? So this is, if people have trouble with custards, it's because they don't stay with them and watch them. And as soon as you see it to start to separate, usually around the edges, that's when you need to be taking it off of the heat. All right, so we're going to let this cool a bit, and then I'm going to swap the camera around, and we will come back and show you how we put these glorious mini skinny banana puddings together. So stay with us. Okay, so we have our custard. It has come down to room temperature. It's kind of a gold color, and that's because we use that brown sugar. So if you like a more yellow color to your custard that really mimics that of the egg yolk, then I would suggest using a white sugar substitute. But I like this, especially for the fall. It's real festive looking. And one thing I wanted to mention what we did beforehand is I got some sliced almonds because I'm lazy, okay? I didn't want to have to chop them up. You can get whole almonds and toast them the same way that we did and then just run your knife through them and chop them up. But I was lazy and these were only like they were less than $3. And would you look at how many sliced almonds I got? See, I love to add these to my salad. So that's kind of how I justified getting that whole big bag. But I took probably about 1/4 of a cup of them and just put them in an oven-safe pan, threw them in a 350-degree oven and left them alone for about 10 minutes. And they came out all pretty and toasty and just delicious. So it adds like a depth of flavor. You can use them plain if you would like, but I like them toasted because it adds something to the banana puddings. So I have these cute little single serve. They had yogurt in them, okay? I'm a mother's child. I don't throw away anything, especially if it's glass. Because these, I mean, why would you? They make good little juice glasses, and I can just see Whit when he's a little bit older having his little milk or his orange juice or his apple juice at BB's house in one of these, right? And if they break, I haven't lost anything. And they're perfect for these little dessert cups. So we're going to get started on building our skinny mini banana puddings. So you can do this however you want, okay? There's no hard and fast rule, but I like to start off with just a little bit of that custard in the bottom. And then I have about 3 bananas that I've just sliced up, and I'm just gonna throw those in the bottom. Now, you can add nuts to each layer if you like that extra texture. That is fine too. And let me get a spoon because that spatula is just not working like I want it to. Let me get a spoon. Never prepared. Somewhat prepared, but not always, right? So we're gonna get a little more of that custard and just put it on top of those bananas. Put some more bananas in. And I like to do them, you know, where you can kind of see them layered in the side. So however many that means to you, however you do it is fine. Then I just like to top it with just a little more of that custard and kind of spread it out. And then I'll garnish that with 1 or 2 of those bananas and just a nice little fleck of those toasted almonds. And y'all, isn't that pretty? And you can do that in a flash. Now this recipe makes anywhere from 2 to 4 depending on how much you put in here. So we're just gonna build a couple more, and I like to put just a little bite to add texture in there. And put that custard in there. And like all of our other recipes, this can easily be doubled. You know, just use 2 of everything that we listed. And it just really comes together beautifully. I want to garnish that on the top. And you can add some whipped cream to this if you want it. They're really perfect just like this. All right. We'll do one more because I've been a little heavy-handed. A little heavy-handed with that custard. Because I would rather them look pretty for y'all than, you know, have 4 when it's just me and Big D, really. Put another layer of that custard in there. Some more of those bananas. Then we'll put that top ending layer on there and just kind of spread it out with the back of our spoon. Oh, and just for fun, let's add some whipped cream. Let's put a little garnish on there. Look how pretty. See? This is cooking on the fly. And just put those bananas in there just so people know what they're getting. Top it with those almonds. Y'all, that's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Let me turn this old camera around and let's see what they look like. Y'all stay with us. Yeah, that fast, that easy, and a whole lot better for you. I might. See, nobody's here right now. Danny's gone fishing. Reagan's at work. Tanner and Whit are at their house. So is Jared. Do you think it would be the same and be good for me if I ate all 3? Probably not. So I better show some restraint and save some for everybody else. But I'm gonna walk around there so that you can see how pretty these are. All right, let's see if I can get them in the camera. All right, look at those pretty layers. That is the one just plain, just with the custard and the bananas and those beautiful toasted almonds. And that's the one that we added just a little bit of whipped cream to. So if you need a little more healthy fat in your diet, the whipped cream, it won't hurt you. I mean, we probably put a whole tablespoon in there. That whipped cream in a can, it's a lot of air, So I'll sacrifice and I'll eat the one with whipped cream because I need a little healthy fat today. So I'm gonna dig that spoon in there and get a bite of everything. The pudding. Listen to me, how country do I sound? The pudding and the bananas and the almonds and the whipped cream, the custard. Oh, because it is custard. Oh my. That custard is still a little bit warm. And if you like your banana pudding warm, you just need to eat them right after you make them. Delicious. Now, I think it's fine without the whipped cream. I do. The whipped cream, it's just sweet enough. It doesn't really need much more of sweet. But those toasted almonds, you won't ever miss that cookie filling. Now, it's good. Don't get me wrong. I love Gosh Big D's banana pudding, which is also over on our website. It's the best thing I've ever put in my mouth. But if you just need a little, this is what you need to do. And if you've got to have something sweet, but you're trying to watch what you're doing, this is what you need. It's perfect. Absolutely perfect. And the almonds give it that texture you would otherwise get from those carb-filled vanilla cookies. So this is just one way that you can see that you can still have some of the things that you love. One, by making healthy substitutions. And two, doing it in small, pre-portioned amounts. So these probably won't last long in your house because they don't last long in my house. And you know, the majority of my folks are not eating healthy like I am, but they love these things. So they'll eat them if I cook them. These, if you need to make them ahead of time, they'll last probably about 2 days. And that's just simply because your bananas will turn brown. But we did that in like less than 10 minutes. That custard, it came up in no time. So, if you need them ahead of time, don't do them more than like the night before. And that's just to keep your bananas pretty. Especially if you're using ripe bananas like these are. They'll turn brown in a flash. And I don't like putting lemon juice on bananas. It changes the flavor to me. But that's just my opinion. You know what they say. So, mini, skinny banana puddings. They're here. They're over at our website at thebutteredhome.com. We would love for you to give us a visit over there. We have a lot of fun putting all this together for you. I am a one-man show. My husband and my children, they help me a lot, but that website is all me. So I personally would appreciate you going and printing this off for free over at thebutteredhome.com. Also, if you're not already, make sure that you're following us on all of our social channels. We have a good time. We show different content on each one. So make sure that you're subscribed to our Instagram channel as well as our Facebook channel, because you never know what you're going to get. Also, if you want all of our videos like these in one convenient place, head on over to YouTube and search for The Buttered Home if you haven't already, and hit that subscribe button so that you can be notified when we drop new videos like this one. I have to go put some plastic wrap on these and put them up in the back of the refrigerator until everybody gets home, or else I'll be in trouble. So I'm not going to stay with you long. I'll put them out of my sight. Grab my water. Drink my water instead. So as usual, from the buttered home to your home, we sure love y'all. Bye.